Solo video today, as the boy hasn't gotten his hands on this one yet, and I wanted to talk about Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance. This is the definitive edition that Atlas is so fond of. A re-release of SMT5 that initially launched on the Nintendo Switch, there was a lot of hype around this game, and seeing as how I haven't played an SMT game in a very, very long time, I was excited to pick this one up. So, was this a waste of 55 hours, or is it worthy of the hype? The story begins with you as a student when, due to recent attacks, you were encouraged to group up with your classmates on the way home from school. Along the way, there's an incident at the station when one of your classmates, Yuzuru, is separated from the group, and at his sister's request, you go after him. You find yourself trapped when an earthquake occurs, trapping you in a tunnel. When you come to, you find Tokyo is now a wasteland with demons running around attacking people. At this point, a being appears in front of you, offering to help you survive by bonding with you and turning you into a Nahabino. So I played the Vengeance route here, and in this route we're introduced to Yoko, the new addition to the game. There are four sisters, I guess, the Kadishu, who are harvesting a resource called Makatsui to resurrect their goddess. We work with Yoko and others in the government group Bethel to stop their attacks. Without going into spoilers, there's some really cool ideas here. Namely that all the demons we fight or recruit used to be gods, but when the Horn God, as they call it here, ascended to the throne of creation, he issued a decree that there shall be no other gods before him, separating the gods from their knowledge and sealing that knowledge away in humans, effectively creating kind of like a Garden of Eden situation. This reduced the remaining gods to demons that are frantically searching for their knowledge. But when this god is killed by Lucifer, the throne is opened up to a new ruler to shape the world, and we, as Nahabino, have the power to ascend to this throne and remake the world as we see fit. I found the story to be fine. Not particularly great, but not bad. The biggest issue I had here, though, was in the presentation of the story. There's a large open world here, which was neat to explore, but it also made the story often take a backseat to the exploration. And as a result, it really felt disjointed for me. Also, there was one storyline that was a pretty large focus for a while, and then it just kind of went away. They could have cut that part out, and we would have been down like 2 pretty easy boss fights and not much else. As it is, it kind of just ended up being a slog for me to get through. So my understanding is that normally you only have the main character and the demons you recruit to play with, but in Vengeance you get to use the human characters a lot more. While Miyazu Atsuta doesn't join you, her brother, Yuzuru, does, along with Yoko, Dazai, and Tao, all of whom come and go throughout the game. Dazai and Yuzuru, in particular, have a lot of character growth, and were probably my 2 favorite of the human characters. Yuzuru is brave, noble, and really wants to protect his little sister. We find that he's already in the demon hunting business when the game kicks off, which is a really nice touch to have someone already experienced in this world. Dazai wants to help and seeks the power to not be a burden on others. He starts off as kind of a wannabe kick streamer, but ends up getting some low-power demons to fight with and sets off to prove he's not a joke. His story does take an interesting twist that I did not feel was executed particularly well. But in general, I like this character. Tao, who's kind of like a chosen one / saint character, always wants to see the good in everyone. And Yoko, well, Yoko's kind of insane. I actually really liked all the human characters up to a specific point, in which case a few just kind of flip. One goes so hard, the Game of Thrones writers are like, bro, chill. It was jarring, and coupled with the disjointed storytelling, it really hurt my overall experience of the game. The characters were good, but I think some of the twists felt a bit forced and just didn't land as well. I also found them to be underpowered compared to the demons. Demons you recruit by either negotiation or fusion, and can be leveled up with items, or imbued with essences to get new abilities, giving great customization. You can fuse any demon you encounter, even the bosses. My favorite part is the ability to really jack up their stats. So if you want to do a God mode pixie, you can absolutely do that. For example, I fused Alice and used her my entire playthrough, and she was an absolute monster. The problem is, the human characters cannot be leveled up like this, and they ended up lagging behind the others really badly. which means lower stats combined with lower tier magic made them not as desirable to use, which is a shame. The one thing they had was their ability to use items, but then there's a miracle you can get that lets the demons do that, taking away the one thing the human characters had in their favor. SMT5 takes place in Tokyo, where you run around the map, talking to people, and has minimal exploration, but the vast majority of the game is in the dot zones. Each zone has different demons and quests, but they all look more or less the same as various hellscapes of a destroyed Tokyo, just with a different color palette and with a few exceptions, like the ferry area or the last zone, where there's some really cool looking walled off areas. Here you encounter enemies on the map, and this initiates a turn-based combat where you get one action per party member. Hitting a weakness or getting a critical hit gives you an extra turn, up to 8. Throughout your travels and combat, you'll build up your own Magatsui bar, which allows you to unleash special attacks or buffs, such as having the next ability your main character uses activate 4 times, making every attack a critical hit, or unleashing some super powerful mega attack. These are really powerful and can absolutely swing the battle. The problem is, enemies can do this too, which is actually kind of awesome. I really enjoyed the combat, and while there were a few times I'd die and it'd feel cheap, generally I thought it was really well balanced. Beyond that, there's the typical Atlas fare of a shop that has its own little subquest, which I really didn't find all that useful. The World of Shadows, where a spirit lady allows you to fuse demons together and learn miracles, something that costs 3 sources of glory you get by finding items on the map or the little demons the shopkeeper asks you to collect, which really customize your character and expand on the demons you have. And the Demon Haunt. Now, the Haunt is probably my favorite part of this game, as you get to go talk to your demons and have some hilarious conversations with them. These are things like ranging from them telling you to, hey, next time you see me, just use auto battle. Alice asking, hey, when are you gonna die? Some demons flirt with you, some demons threaten you. It adds some great levity to the game and was probably the best addition in my opinion. Graphically, this looks like a hyper-polished Persona 5. It's the same general art style and demons you see in games like Persona 3 or 5, but with a much cleaner style that I absolutely loved. The attack animations are smooth and beautiful. Some demons have unique abilities that are awesome, though a few are a bit longer than I like. Thankfully, these can all be skipped by just pressing a button. My knock on the graphics, though, would be the zone designs, as they all grew to just kind of blend together for me. It's neat, but it's just another ruined building with a desert, but this one has some water nearby, or a bit of snow, or a tree. After the second zone, it all felt kind of samey to me and lost the luster. The audio, however, does not disappoint at all. From voice acting, attack effects, and music, it's absolutely top-notch. Dazai and a few enemies go a bit over the top for my taste, but that's a nitpick. By and large, these are all fantastic. The overworld music is eerie and disturbing, which normally might be a negative, but I felt it fit the theme here really well. Combat music is energetic, and the World of Shadows, the place where you fuse demons, has a serene, almost church-like vibe. Each one is perfectly matched with their environment and sets just the right ambiance. As usual, Atlas does not miss with their music. So all that said, I'm torn on this game. Look, I love Atlas's work, and I have frequently called 2024 the Year of Atlas, between this, Unicorn Overlord, and Metaphor, not to mention me diving back in and finally completing the Etri and Asti collection on my Switch. But on this one, I really felt like I was playing something different than everybody else. The disjointed story was hurt even more by, in my opinion, some surprisingly bad writing late in the game. This is a rare miss for Atlas in my opinion. Here, the characters spout off trying to sound wise and insightful, but in reality it's just kind of dumb. I understand what they were going for, but it just didn't work for me. I see this game getting a lot of high praise, and some from people whom I respect and generally agree with on games that absolutely loved it, and I get it. If the things that bothered me don't bother you, I absolutely can see this being an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. But for me, I'm going to say this is a 7 out of 10 game. I enjoyed some of the gameplay, but the story just bored me to tears. Usually with Atlas games, you have to pull me away. This one, I had to force myself to finish it. It felt like a chore to get through, and a very pretentious one at that. When I played Persona 3 Reload or Persona 5, I either immediately started another run or at least had the desire to. After 55 hours to beat the Vengeance route, I have absolutely no desire to go back and explore the creation path. And for me, that's the biggest disappointment. It's a fine game and one that I don't regret getting, but it really does drive home that not everything is going to work for everyone. So that's my take on Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Do you agree, or do you feel like I missed something? And just for curiosity, who's your favorite demon or persona? Personally, I love Alice, and she's just so wonderfully creepy. But the boy is a huge Jack Frost fan. What are your thoughts? Comment below, let me know. I'm always open to having my mind changed. And hey, maybe there was some key piece that I missed. Either way, thanks everyone.